What's up, y'all? This your girl, Cartel, and you're watching Cartel TV. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching in advance. You know.
All I ever wanted was to live free. Make my own lane while I do me. Sick and tired of punching clocks, living low key. Prefer Papa bands on a shopping spree. Cold world in the winter, but I hold heat. It's the jungle outside, please look over me. Live loyal, live life, cause procrastination kills.
So boom, we gonna get right back into it. So after the robbery, I had lost a lot of things, but most importantly, I had lost my money that I was saving up, and I lost my computer. Like, they took my computer. They took what? They took like a really important piece, because all I had was a little speaker, and I had, my computer. And that was how I was making music. I was recording the songs on the computer, and I was using this website called BandLab, which will allow you to, record using the website for free. And, you got plugins and everything that you can use for free. So I was like, dang, what's going on? What's crazy? I really lost, something that was like keeping me sane. So at this point, I'm feeling down. I'm like, I gotta get back to music. But, good thing about BandLab, it actually saves all your music to the website. So long as you within a certain time frame, you can get all those songs and just re-download them again. So luckily I was getting paid. So when I got paid, I went and got me a little Chromebook. Chromebooks like $120, $100. Like, they real cheap. And all you need is the internet. So boom, I went and caught me a little Chromebook, and I just re-downloaded all my music and, caught the new speaker, and I was back making music. So, all right, I was back sane, had my peace again. That's cool. After that, I had got back on track with the music and everything, but I was just so focused on music, I wasn't doing nothing else. Like, I was using up PTO, anything to get me to stay in the crib making music all day. I was like, let me just do that. And I just kept, getting behind. So again, like, I'm letting you know, I am taking the blame. I'm taking the accountability that I was just not focused on my needs. I was more focused on my wants and some that I really love doing. And that caused me to fall short again. I had to move in with my aunt. Not a good decision, but, for a little bit it was working out. It was making things easier, And at that time I was actually working at a good, decent job. Like, I was working at what was I working at? I had so many jobs, y'all. I think at that time I was working at Bank of America. I had just started working at Bank of America like maybe 2 months before moving in with my uncle. So I was making decent money. But I just, I was just irresponsible. I was so focused on my pain and suffering, being miserable, hating life, that, I just really couldn't focus on the necessities of my life. And all I really wanted to do was anything with creativity. Something that just, I guess, was freeing for the mind, and that's kind of what I stuck to. And that just kept. So, around that time I was making good money for where we was at in the economy and everything. I could have, really got on track at that time. But of course I didn't take advantage of my opportunity because mentally I wasn't stable. I wasn't who I was supposed to be at that time, and I wasn't on what I was supposed to be on, and I wasn't thinking properly. So, that just kept declining. So eventually I lost that good job, and I had to go and settle and work at Amazon, because that was, of course, everybody know that's like the quick way to keep an income coming in. Just go apply to Amazon. They always hiring, So yeah, that's what I did. I got on Amazon. Of course, I hated it, but then boom, car repossession. Again, things are just trickling down, because when you're not on your job and not on your duties, things don't get done. So boom, repossession. They take the car. I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm at work in peak time too. So when I'm getting off, I'm ready to be up out of there. Car gone, bro. Car dipped up out of there. I dipped up out of there. So yeah, so eventually, I had to rely on a coworker to get me back and forth to work. Come to find out, she was a whole different kind of person. You know what I'm saying? I take her out with her with me and my friends, and come to find out she didn't dipped on the bar bill. And now I got beef with the bartenders. Like, never want beef with the bartenders. You gotta love your bartenders. So I had to let her know about herself. Then she doing all types of things on break. And I'm like, man, got to go. So, eventually I just was like, you know what, this too much. I'm paying too much out of pocket just to get back and forth to work. So really, what am I working here for? I need to get somewhere closer to where I live. That way I can maneuver how I need to maneuver on my own without relying on anybody else or coming too much out of pocket. So, with that being said, I settled for a little rinky-dinky job right a crib. Like working at the gas station, working at the grocery stores. But let's just go back, because remember when I said living with my uncle wasn't the best decision, over the time, over the years I was there, we just was, but butting heads. Just two different mindsets, two different people, and really I was overstaying my welcome. So, it got to the point where, we cool. That's my uncle at the end of the day. You know what? We just had our beefs. Which, he was always cool enough to let me drive his car to, just to do a little something, do a little bit maneuvering outside of where I can get to that really didn't bother nobody else. If I wanted to go out or something with my friends or something, he'll let me take the car. So mind you, this had been, a few years of me just using this car. Never been no problems. Then one night, going out with my friends, we didn't hit up a little, I think it was a little kickback. It won't nothing too big, because I had on like a hoodie, like just a regular plain old hoodie. In VA, we had on that type of weather where, shorts and a hoodie is regular wear where we from. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know. So yeah, I done had a good night chilling with the friends and all that. So I dropped my best friend off. I'm driving down the highway heading back home. Now she lived down in the city. I lived out in the county. So I'm on the highway. Ain't nobody on the highway but me. Like, it's just me in the car and the road. It's in rain. That's it. Like, that's nobody on the road. Now, mind you, I'm not going fast. I'm going like speed limit a little bit over, but I'm not going fast. Just regular driving for, myself. And so I'm going around the bend. This boom, hit a puddle. Car start autoplaying immediately. Now this a old school what's it called? So the car wide body. So I'm going down the highway and this the J start autoplaning. It starts skidding. So the car starts skidding. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm holding on. I'm holding on, trying to like, then boom. The car just hit the little wall part of the highway. But it kind of like hit the front because I like swerved the car afterwards, so it won't like crash all the way. Man, the car just cut off and then rolled me to the other side of the highway. Luckily, there was no other cars on the road. We probably like maybe 2, 3 in the morning. I'm not sure, but it wasn't cars on the road at the time. So we got a little crash. You know what I'm saying? A little crash. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Let me go ahead and take the walk of shame, bro. Call my uncle. He's spazzing. My daddy got to come get him to come get me. Everybody's spazzing. They didn't call my granny. She's spazzing. Everybody think I'm drunk. Spazzing. They like, I smell it in the car. I'm like, bro, I wasn't drinking. I had like 2 beers. I drank a lot of beers. 2 beers ain't gonna do nothing. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't lit, bro. Man, I done crashed Unc car. Unc done kicked me out the crib that night. Like, I mean, that night. Kicked me out instantly. I ain't have nowhere to go, so I had to wind up staying at I had to wind up staying at my grandma's house. Then from that, I went to my stepmom's house. Then I went back to my grandma's house, stayed there. Then luckily, a friend allowed me to stay at her crib, and that was the best thing that happened to me. I was finally able to like get some space, get some mental peace, kind of have my own, and just get back in a good mental space. Cause man, for a few months after that accident, my ass was flipping and flopping for real, for real. Like didn't have a clue. It just felt good. Like I was finally feeling free. You know what I'm saying? But like that's how my mind was. As I'm moving in there. Like, I'm like, yeah, I got my own bathroom. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was just in a space and place where I ain't have it together. Where I didn't have it together at all. And I was in that space and place for years. And when I got there, I just felt like a weight had been lifted. I was like, man, dang, I'm starting to see like clearer. In just like a few days, I was like, oh, this is what I needed, my own space and place. But it quickly hit the fan again. Man, I can't get it together, man. Irresponsible, man. I just couldn't get it together. The little rinky dinky jobs I was working at over there by my uncle's house, I had got fired from that. Um, but luckily the spot where I had moved to, they had the Wawa. They hired me within like a week, and I was like, oh, that came in clutch. And luckily, Wawa got paid weekly, so that helped me just flip things around in like 2 weeks. So everything was back on track. Like I went from just a 2 week stint of like, oh, I lost it all again after I got my freedom. Mentally, I'm thinking, and then boom, 2 weeks later, I had to get it back together. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like I was just going through the motions, going through the motions, going through the motions so many times, man. I done went through I feel like every emotion. Like, it's been crazy. When I got there, I felt like I could finally slow down. I can just, take my time to actually breathe. And I think that's when I really started, like, waking up, just seeing things a little bit more differently. Definitely wanting more out of life. I was able to create new strategies and routines for myself. And, I think I had started viewing things a little bit more clear. And I think that was a big shift in my life. That kind of sparked something that made me want more, want to do more, want to be more. And you know what I'm saying? And I think that's when I started to wake up. I think that's when it started to, feel like I was breathing life again. Like, but for a long time I was just alive. But I think when I got there, I felt like I could live. Like, oh man, I might can do this whole life thing. Just that little bit of like, oh man, your own shit. And mind you, I've had my own places before, but it was all like rushed. I never really had time to like figure anything out. I never really had time to like analyze things. I just really had to like, oh man, we need somewhere to live. Let's get that. Let's get that. I need a better job. I don't have any work experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had jobs, but they was little, teenage jobs and things like that. So I had to figure that out. But when I got those jobs, I fumbled them because I was just completely irresponsible and just mentally not all the way there. But I think when I got to my friend crib and had my own little space and place, that kind of made me want to like, oh man, I miss this. Like, I miss this for sure. And I think that was real good for me. Yeah, I mean, I had picked up a second job. I had so much income coming in for what I was used to at the time. I had been working them little rinky dinky jobs. You know what I mean? So I was just making do. But now, I can actually like save and I can work towards goals. And that's when I started doing things like that. But when you working so much, it's all work no play, you know. And again, I just was I was feeling so I always felt better when I was being creative. So that kind of was catching up to me. I was like, man, I wanna do this, but I don't really have time. I'm making the money that I need to be creative, but I can't be creative because I'm busy making the money. And I think that as a creative, that kind of bothers you. And I just feel like I've never really had that space and place to be so free in my creativity where things don't bother me. But at the same time, you got to understand you got to work for things. You got to get things set up, and you got to create systems that will allow that to happen for you. Again, this is something I learned through growth, and I'm still working on. So as the months go by, I'm doing good. I'm staying focused. I'm completing my tasks. I'm staying dedicated to my goal with music, with saving, and just all around, just following new routine, just all around, just following new routines that I had created for myself. And even small stuff, I just try to implement things little by little, not to rush myself, not to try to get too far ahead of myself. Because again, basically, I've been a bear hibernating for years. uh, if you want to have an analogy to compare, that's when I would go with, I just been basically sleeping on myself for years because I've just been wanting and thriving so well in misery that, like, that was a comfort zone. And I think when I got that and was reminded of the peace of having your own space and place can provide, I think I just kind of started wanting more, and it was like it was becoming a urge. But then boom, my grandma died. Another spiral hit, you know what I mean? But and that one was tough because that's my grandma, and love her to death. But luckily, with my grandmother, we had time to prepare. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It happened suddenly in a way, but it wasn't something that no one wasn't like. Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. We understood that the time was coming. We just didn't know when. So I think that kind of allowed me to keep on pushing forward. And really, after my mom died, a lot of emotions kind of exited my body. I really didn't have a lot of feelings towards a lot of things, and I was noticing that words, you know, were losing power towards me. You know what I mean? So I was kind of becoming numb anyway. I already had became numb, but you know, I don't know. I just was like emotionally, I had been rewired. I mean, losing a parent or losing your mom, or yeah, losing a parent. Losing a parent can, take a lot more out you than you're really expecting, um, especially when it's unexpected. So yeah, I was able to quickly move past my grandmother's passing, and get back on track. I was doing good. I was back to work, staying focused on my goals. Receiving my checks and trying to save my money again. I won't really tripping. I won't not like in the past. I was kind of like having better understanding of life and just was able to move forward with things and just let it roll off your shoulders and give it to God. You know, um, I was waking up and I was ready to live, and I didn't want anything to hinder that. You know, but then in November, things really changed. November 2019. That's when I had started doing like Lyft and Uber. A coworker at Wawa had put me up on game. I was like, man, I'm trying to save up to get a car. If I could just get a car, I can get a lot more things done. without having to, come out of pocket so much far as expenses to, get to where I need to get to. And my coworker was like, "Oh, you should do Lyft." And my coworker was like, "Oh, you should do Lyft." And I was like, "What you mean do Lyft?" She was like, "You should drive for Lyft." I'm like, "I don't have no car. I'm gonna drive for Lyft." She was like, "Oh, they rent you a car. You can just rent a car, and you pay them a weekly payment to rent a car." And I was like, "Word." And that sparked a light bulb. I'm like, I got this job, I got that job, and then I can do, Lyft, and then I can Lyft to just provide transportation. Okay, so boom, a week later, I signed up. I had got approved. I had the car. I jumped on that quick, and then I quickly realized, okay, I got to pay this thing weekly, and I'm literally in the hole until I pay them their bread. Now, if I'm going to be paying them weekly, I might as well, get into it. So I went out, I tested it. I was nervous. I'm just picking up complete strangers. I was super nervous. And I was like, oh, we can get busy with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, when in that couple of days I had was just getting started over a weekend, I had made the money I needed to make to pay them. And then I had made almost, the majority of what a normal weekly check will be for my one of my part-time jobs. And I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? So I gave it another shot. I gave it a whole week this time. And I had made that bread, plus I had made more than what I would normally make at this certain part-time job. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah. And I was just like, ding 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 ding. This is it. Here's your opportunity to be completely free. You're not tied to a job. You have your freedom and space in your home at the time. Like 2.5 weeks, I had quit both of the jobs, that Walmart and Wawa, and I had went full blown lifting. Like I turned into a Lyft driver, 100%. And that's what I kind of did. And that's what I was doing until February 2020. Big Dog came through, shut everything down, and y'all know who Big Dog is. It go like this or like this. How should I have it? I'm not saying the word though, because I don't know what this means, but I just know people on here don't say it. So I'm gonna stick to the script. Like, but yeah, that quickly altered everything that I had planned, and that shut a lot of stuff down. Literally, it shut stuff down. People wasn't going anywhere. People didn't need rides. People started working from home. Things was going crazy. So, at this point, I'm feeling like an entrepreneur now. I need to make some things shake. So I started doing the Instacarts. I started doing all the little side economy gigs that you could think of just to keep my income steady. And, eventually things was getting too rough. So I went and got a job. I went back to Amazon, but this time I went to Amazon delivery. It was just crazy. Yada, 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 yada. And, you know, it wasn't working out. But eventually things tweaked and turned, and I was able to get back steady with lifting again. So, but I was like, man, I can't just depend on this. I can't depend on that. So by the end of that year, you know what I mean, I had I had caught my own car. I had worked up enough to get what I needed. Shout out to my peoples. They looked out, and I had got my own whip. So I was now able to do Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all of those other things now. So I had more options. So that kind of put me back on my feet and had things working out for me. But then my living situation changed. I had to move out again. I moved in with another friend. That didn't work out. I was just that person that couldn't get right. I couldn't get on my feet. And, to be honest, I was in most of the time, majority of that time, I was in a space and place where it was like, I let my emotions get the best of me. I let my anger get the best of me. And that's what caused me to not have stability. That's what caused me to, have to bounce around so many times. And, I could have easily just maintained the apartment I was already in. But I let robbery get to me. I let emotions get to me. I let everything get to me. And I just was like, if you want to really be real, I was just like, fuck it. And I felt like I just accepted life as what life was. And I was cool with it. And that's how you get to a state where you're just super unstable, that you really have nowhere to go, and you just a straight dog trying to be yeah, you just all over the place. You wherever you at. So yeah, then I moved in with another friend, and I was there for a few months. But that didn't work out. So, I was moving on. And in that time I had quit Amazon and went back to Lyft and Uber, um, using my main car, so I was able to maneuver how I wanted to. And I just, I just completely, I think, I honestly think that I'm not meant to work a job. I think my creativity is meant to be my job. That's why I'm not really money, focused. I understand you have to make money. I do understand that to maintain your needs. You are an adult. You have to do what you have to do. However, I think that I just know I always go back to my creativity because I know that's what's going to feed me. I don't know why. I just know that that's going to feed me. I just have to tap in. So yeah, living with my friend, that didn't work out. So boom, now I'm living with my pops, and now my pops don't have much space. So he's really doing me a favor by letting me stay here. So, you know, when I first got here, I was like, damn, backtrack again. You know what I'm saying? Backtracking again. Here I go. Just just doing a circle, really, just doing a figure eight. I'm just circling back, right? And the next steps lead me to the next step, which gonna lead me back to where the fuck I started. So it don't matter which direction I go or which direction I take, I'm going right back to the same starting place. And I was living on a hamster wheel. You know what I'm saying? I'm living on a hamster wheel. So yeah, but as much as I hated it, it's actually has been as much as I hate it, it's actually been a blessing though, because here, I I really started growing. Like this is where the growth is occurring here. Like I still have my own space to do what I want to do, and to expand, and to do it at a in a peaceful state as well. I'm not too worried about too many things, but it's working out. So when I first got here, I had to get back right. So I got back right, got everything back on track, and boom, I started working good. I started investing in things. I started getting things done. As you can see, I was able to get my whole home studio set up. I was able to provide myself with a camera. I'm able to, have a little bit of pleasures on the side. And then ego sets in. I got money now. I'm living how I want to live. I'm doing what I want to do. I can take a few days off here and there. Let me go make music for like 2 weeks and not make any income. Mind you, I have to make money daily in order to survive. So here I go, being irresponsible again. But yet I'm going right back to creativity, and that is just what keeps calling my name. Creativity. It just keeps calling my name. So, I'm like, you know what? I need some structure. I need to maybe just go ahead and get me a job. So whether or not, me mentally, that's just what I've always been, especially in my generation. You go to school, you go to college, you work a job. You know what I'm saying? And in today's world, it don't necessarily have to work like that no more. You can really like focus on what it is that you're trying to create and actually thrive in it. And I'm just so lucky that the time has come around, and it feels like the gold rush for me, because man, I feel like right now I'm in that space and place where my creativity is not hindering me. But then it started to hinder me. Because here I go taking off weeks and days. Again, I had to humble myself. Since I won't doing it, life did it for me. Stuff ain't getting paid because I'm not going to work. So here we go. I'm cool with it because again, I'm being creative. I'm making music. I'm sparking new ideas. I'm creating new ventures for myself. But again, things are just trickling down. So boom, another repossession. Car gone. I'm back to no car, no bread. Because my car is how I make money. So if I don't have no car, I don't have no money. Like literally broke. And this is on my birthday weekend. So my birthday June 23rd. On June 24th, they repossessed the car. Mind you, I was going out with my friends that Saturday. My birthday was on a Thursday. They repossessed it on a Friday. And I was going out with my friends that Saturday. Crazy. But it all worked out. You know, I was able to still enjoy my birthday weekend. Shout out to my friends. And, you know, after that, I was redesigning my life again. Figure out which way I was going to go. So, yeah, I went back to Wawa. Got back on with Wawa. And after that, I just started really getting organized. Like I really just was like, man, that's it. I can't do this no more. Like I can't just keep starting and restarting. Like, you know, I gotta start and just keep going. I gotta start and just keep going. So that's why I was at with it. I can't restart no more. And that's why I've been at since I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So since my birthday of last year, I was just like, yo, I just can't do this. So in August, I started working back at Wawa, started getting things on track, started paying things off, and you know, just started doing right by myself. And that was working out for me. Was at Wawa getting things done, staying on track, getting my credit straight. And then, you know, certain jobs will just tick you off. They'd have pissed me off at Wawa, so I quit. You know what I'm saying? I quit that jank. 3 days later, I went and got me a car, and I went back to live from Uber. I've been doing that for a few months now. I'm about to start my new job, and, you know, I'm going to just keep it going. I have my days to, you know, do what I need to do for my creative needs, and at the nighttime, I take care of my personal life. I take care of my personal needs, pay my bills and things like that. I just been getting better. I'm finally here, man. Like I didn't came into the world, you know what I'm saying? I'm finally here, man. I didn't woke up. I'm ready to live now. And it's been a long time coming, man. Man, I've been up, down, left, right, all the way around, bro. I done been so many different levels in life. But when you hit rock bottom, man, the only way to go up. So, yeah, I'm going up. And I hope y'all watching, you know, and enjoy the ride with me. Because, man, I guess we're getting ready to run a marathon like Nipsey say, you know. But I'm on my way, man. You know, I might be the tortoise in the race, but hey, the tortoise still got to the finish line either way. So, yeah. And y'all stay up with me, man. I hope y'all like the more upcoming videos. You know, I'm about to start doing more vlog style videos now. So, you know, I done told y'all about the past life. I done cleared the air, cleared my temple. Now it's time to, you know, reintroduce life to me. You know what I mean? You know, live a little, experience things. You know, think outside the box a lot more. Get outside my comfort zone, 100%. And I hope y'all enjoy it. You know, I know my content may not be for everybody, but I just gotta be myself, and I hope y'all cool with it. Peace.